You want to see proof that this is like real? This is an exclusive look at episode 2. I'll show you the first 3 minutes and you'll realize why at the time I got stumped on this part.
Another question I got, this is going to be the one where you're going to want to gouge your ears and eyes out, and you're going to want to like jump out the window because you've probably been asked this 8 billion times in the last probably 4 years, 3 years, however long it's been. So what is going on with the Hong Kong series? Because you made one video. This was years ago. I remember you being on Twitter. I like replied to you. I asked like blink twice if the fucking CCP got you, because I genuinely thought like you filmed something you shouldn't have, and that's why the videos didn't come out. But you just said that you're still working on them. What's going on with those?
Okay,
what happened?
So
what's
for
the lore?
Okay, so for the record, I could get, theoretically, I absolutely could get arrested for what I recorded. So that is, I guess, it's like that's like a minor stressor. Like ideally I would like to go back to Hong Kong someday, but that's irrelevant. Like that's not a real reason. If I'm giving like reasons, I would say that the H3H3 thing, being stimmed the fuck out, burning myself out really bad that whole time, that contributed. But the thing is that what you need to understand is that immediately after the H3 video, I sat down and I was like, episode 2, we're working on episode 2. I just got like a brutal writer's block, and the whole goal of the series was like, every week I have to release an episode. But then I missed that second week after the Stimfest. And so when I fucked the first week, I was like, okay, well, all right, next week. And then I fucked that. And so it had become 3 weeks. And then what happened, I was still working on it. But what happened was new laws dropped in Hong Kong, the national security laws. And those laws, when I say that those laws were like a checkmate to the protesters, as in like I went into the series thinking that there was hope, that the protesters would get some concessions, basically, that there was, like, I was extremely naive, because what I've come to learn is that Hong Kong is just not a democracy. Like, it never has been. And what this national security laws, thing that basically went through their kind of parliamentary system, whatever you would call it, it basically made it so like you just can't protest effectively. Like, you just can't protest. It was basically like a massive black pill. People got arrested. The biggest fucking newspaper chain, Apple Daily, that was like, people say there's ways you can, because this is the problem, right? There's so many problems with this series, but it's like, I say this to everybody and I say it every time, but it's going to get released. I know it's going to get released, because there's no way, unless I die, there's no way that I am going to let the footage I got not be fucking shown. You know what I mean? Yeah, because it is wild. It is wild. Like, I can't, like, to be honest, I think I'm fucked in the head for sitting on it for as long as I have already. It's probably fucked up that I did, but yeah, I do think I will do it justice. You know what I mean? If you have faith in me, whatever. But the point that I was getting at is that the biggest newspaper, Apple Daily, which again, some people say pro-West, some people just say anti, CCP, whatever. Both are true. Both are basically true. You know what I mean? But they got completely shut down, like the federal agents or whatever you call them. Like, they stormed the building, they arrested the CEO, and like from there it was basically like, okay, we don't have freedom of press anymore, because that was the big advantage that Hong Kong had over mainland China, which is that they had the right to it was the right, let me just see, it was the right to free press, yeah, but wait up. Let me just look it up.
I know they were a little more liberal than mainland China in that regard.
Yeah. Let me see if I actually have an old ass version. This is possible. Just give me a minute. I might. Oh yeah. Holy fuck.
He's going into the receipts. Yeah, send that shit. I want to see.
All right, here you go, guys. This is an exclusive look at episode 2. Just because we're already FBI wiping your brain, so. Yeah, here you go.
We're getting that exclusive shit.
This is old. Like, I just uploaded this as a test. I don't even remember why, but fuck it. Let's just show you, because it's going to show. Yeah, so I'll show you the first 3 minutes, and you'll realize why At the time, I got stumped on this part. I'll show you.
Okay.
All right. Okay, that's pretty good. So you may have a lot of questions on your mind right now, such as, where are we? When are we? And who are we? Well, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Gokanaru, but you can call me Chris. I arrived here in Hong Kong on August 25th of 2019, and what you're seeing here is my second day, where I finally arrived at my destination. You see, I'm actually a student, and had gotten accepted to study at the City University of Hong Kong, located in Kowloon Tong, Kowloon. There are 8 publicly funded universities in Hong Kong, and all of them teach primarily in English. Why is that? Well, thanks to the British, English is an official language here, alongside the traditional Cantonese, a variant of Chinese that is more complicated than the one most used in the mainland, Mandarin. These two variants of Chinese are so different that people who speak Mandarin often aren't able to understand those who speak Cantonese, and vice versa. But that's far from the only thing that differentiates Hong Kong from mainland China. For one, mainland China is obviously a massive country, whereas Hong Kong is considered an administrative division, essentially a city that is technically separate from the larger country of China. While mainland China's government is communist, Hong Kong has a semi-autonomous limited democracy, giving them a lot more freedoms than those experienced under communist rule, such as freedom of press, freedom of assembly, and freedom of speech. This is why you'll often hear people saying that you can't access Western internet websites while you're in China. But that only refers to mainland China, because they have the Great Firewall. Basically making it so that anyone in China who wants to access Western media needs a VPN to do so. By keeping their own internet within the walls of China, they're better able to regulate and survey what's happening online.
Chinese national internet policy is very simple. Block and clone. You have Google, we have Baidu. You have YouTube, we have Youku.
They want to control what sort of content is hosted on the internet that's available to Chinese users, and they want absolute control over that content.
They want to keep the server in Beijing so they can access the data anytime they want.
So if they decide, for instance, that they don't want any references to the Tiananmen massacre, then they will scrub that out of every website and every app within the country that Chinese consumers can see.
But if you dare to retweet or mention any fake coup, you will definitely be arrested.
But Hong Kong doesn't have any of that, okay? That's a super common misunderstanding. In Hong Kong, you're completely able to access any Western media websites you'd like, a feature which helps it maintain its status as the international business hub of the world. You know, because Westerners don't have to reorient their entire internet presence this way. Or at least that. So wait up. Okay, so basically that's the problem that I initially encountered, was that a lot of that just...
I don't think I've ever seen that.
No, that was oh sorry, that was never public. Yeah, that's unseen. But the problem that I encountered basically was that just stopped being true like almost immediately after I edited that. This is an old fucking copy. Like, I just figured I'd show you. Like, you can see that version's unfinished and whatever, but like, the problem that I encountered was the freedom of press, freedom of religion, and freedom of speech. That just stopped being true while I was editing that. And so it was so it was like kind of a mind fuck, because I was like, well, how the fuck, like, I was just like, how, like, I just edited the part where I was talking about this, and now it's just not true.
It fucking changed because of the shit going on. They changed it.
Yeah, the rules changed while I was editing that shit. And so I got like a bit spooked and I was confused, and like the biggest problem as well is like there is like a language barrier, obviously, to an extent. When that happened, and like I just didn't know how to like convey that the national security law just came into effect or whatever. I got stumped on that for like I probably got stumped on that for like 3 months or so. And then I would come back and I would like try and force it. But yeah, I got stumped on that for a while. Now the good news is that the series is real and it like will get uploaded. The ideal is it's gonna be 10 to 12 episodes. And yeah, I mean, that's proof, that it is real. Nobody's seen that before, right? So
10 fucking episodes, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's doable because, like, bro, if you think about it, like the Sneako video is kind of like 20 videos in one, right? Like an hour and 50 minutes. If each episode's like 10 to 15 minutes, you know what I mean? Anyway, but obviously, like there has been progress made. Like that's the thing as well. Like it's not like it's just been completely sidelined, although to an extent, obviously, it kind of has. But it's been on the back burner. And yeah, a big part of why it's been on the back burner is because like it is a complicated ass situation. I think you could probably imagine. Like there's multiple reasons. Like so other problems I had was I wanted to make it feel personal. So my original idea was, you know how Shane Dawson had like for a while he had like his documentary series, which was like the kind of dog shit documentaries. He was like at TanaCon. Whatever, talking to Jake Paul.
I remember those. Those were big.
Yeah, inside the mind of Jake Paul, right? And so those blew the fuck up. Those got like 10 million, 15 million views. It's just unreal. And at the time I was thinking, I should try to like take notes from that. I should try to pull that off. And the problem that I encountered was nobody that I recorded, nobody that I interacted with wanted to be in it because they were all like, students who are now, like in the workforce and they might want to work in China, all this shit. You know what I mean? Like most people aren't as fucked in the head as like me, right? Like when the protests really hit, because it is a storyline that's going to be followed, right? It's a storyline of like me coming in as a fucking noob, just like a student. And as I'm living there, I'm slowly seeing more and more unrest, more and more, very obvious signs that social order is kind of falling apart. And then collapsing. And then that eventually culminates in there's a very overt moment where it's like a strange event happens at this university that I'm at. And that is the moment, we didn't realize it at the time, but that was the moment when it's like, holy fuck, this just got really, really real. And suddenly all of the friends and like people that I was interacting with and met, all the foreigners, like the foreign students, they were getting plucked and pulled out of Hong Kong. Like literally their governments were like fucking setting them up with plane tickets to like leave immediately. So like almost everybody that I knew left and everyone was like freaked out, all this shit. Basically like the university that I was at got effectively
like shut down.
It didn't just get shut down, it got taken over by the protesters. The thing is that the protesters were students, right? So like a lot of the local students that I met were people who were taking over the universities. And so like this was kind of the last stand of the protests. This is like the most famous thing that happened, which nobody understands. This is the thing why I felt like this is just like, it's a heavy ass fucking responsibility to an extent. Like, and I've squandered it. I've kind of fucked it up, but it's like intimidated me, right? Like, and I've done some fucked up like videos. I've done like ambitious videos. This Sneako video is to an extent ambitious, but it's like, it's on another level when it's actually real. Like when it's actually like, a historical event occurred and you were there. Like I don't know how to put it. It's
That's
like
actually insane that you were fucking Like you willingly went to a place like that, like especially like when you said it was mostly students protesting, like I think of fucking Tiananmen Square because those people were all students too. It's
Yeah,
like
this is the thing that was like people were freaked the fuck out, man. Like I'm telling you, people that I lived there for like 3 months ish with, like I'm talking like students from Netherlands, students from France, students from Sweden. So many of the people that I met just like despawned basically. Like they literally just
stay
got
out.
yeah, they just got fucking scooped. And so suddenly I like the only place that I have to live is like this university campus and it's now overrun. I'm getting emails every single day from the people like the basically like, the fucking representatives of Canada or whatever, like you got to leave. You're getting fucking emails from the director of the university that I'm staying at saying you got to fucking leave. Like it was completely a completely like probably the most chaotic situation I've ever been in, and me and one other woman who thankfully has consented to being in the series. If she didn't, it would be very, very difficult to pull off. But like me and one other woman were like kind of the only foreign students who stuck around and wanted to document what was going on. And so I can show you actually. Just fuck it, because you're gonna get FBI wiped anyway, right?
We're getting fucking
Deep lore, bro.
We're getting black men fucking flashed.
You started this like you started this thinking that this was just like kind of jokes, but like now we're getting into like reality a bit. Anyway, yeah. So if you've seen the trailer that I made, I'm glad I got the trailer out. Let me just say that. Like I know I literally edged everybody for fucking years and years at this point. No one gives a shit, but I'm glad I got this trailer out because a lot of Hong Kongers reacted to this trailer very positively. Like they really liked the hopeful message. It just got fucked by the new laws, is the problem. But yeah. Anyway, so here, I'll show you. So this trailer, I think this is probably one of the best trailers. Yeah, this is the best trailer I've ever made. I do think I'm good at trailers, but this one was like fucking high level. And so the point of this trailer was to basically convey it started off very calm. Like when I went to Hong Kong initially, it was actually very calm. It was pretty relaxed. I'm saying this from my perspective. Okay. The protests were happening throughout. They just weren't as insane to the point where a, foreigner was getting, confronted by them. Right.
Yeah.
And so this trailer kind of starts really melodic and like, beautiful and whatever. And then you see how there's like a lot of this trailer shows how it evolved and like where it ended up going. It's just, you guys don't have any of like the blanks are not filled in, which is like obviously the actual fucking upload we'll have to do. But yeah, I'll show you the trailer for right now. And I might, pause and talk about a part. Free?
We finna watch some Peak.
Do you even know what that would feel like? Is it even possible? I don't know. But,
Fucking Pepe.
a lot can happen when you let go. So like Pepe, okay, so Pepe was like a very recurring fucking theme.
Symbol.
Yeah. Like in this,
I remember like watching stuff about it, and I saw Pepe a lot.
This amazed me. I was amazed by this because obviously, like to us, Pepe's kind of a meme, if not.
It is just like a meme, yeah. But
yeah. But in this context, it was literally like a freedom fighting fucking symbol. So a lot of people, it was almost like, you know, if you have a Pepe imagery, it's like you're based, like you're a protester. Basically, is the idea. But yeah, this is so the progression that you're following right here is basically go from touristy shit like, you know, whatever, to now we're talking, now this is like the campus. Okay, so this was another incident that happened. This was like one of the earlier times where I really like saw the riot police like while I was just hanging out with friends and whatever. Wait up. This is just us chilling. I remember this. Fuck. This is cool. This is scary and whatever, but this is actually just like a celebration. I believe it's for the Moon Festival that they do yearly. But then we cut to like this is the university getting, you know, graffitied, destroyed. And so now it's like shit. This is basically when shit gets real. This is that when it says come out, they're referring to the person who, like, the president of the university, because there's a theory, and it's probably true. There's a theory that the president of the university abandoned the students. Like he evacuated immediately when shit went sour.
Fucking bailed out.
Yeah. So like the students were pissed off because that guy is supposed to, like, you know, be representing the students, and he just like bailed out, and he probably called the cops and all this shit. Yeah, and then what I'm teasing. Oh right, yeah, this is holy fuck, this is quite a memory, man. Holy fuck. See, okay. So I'll talk about the problems in a bit, but this is a mall that I hung out at a lot. Yeah, this was one of the more crazy nights where the mall basically got trashed, and the big thing that fucked with me was like the protesters were very organized in the sense that it was not like a looting type of situation, which you can see absolutely in like the States, because it's like very anarchy, like it's like I'm let me just say, like, I'm very open-minded when it comes to protests and whatever. But yes, there is like looting that happens in the States. There was like zero looting at all in this context at all. And I was amazed by that. But the reason that they trashed this mall was to distract the police from another university where like they were fighting fucking students. It's very, very weird, bro. It's really urban warfare. Like I was amazed. I was like, what the fuck? Because obviously I'm a foreigner, right? I'm not in on the plans. Like I'm not an insider. I'm an outsider. You know what I mean? So I'm just observing all this shit and trying to understand what the fuck happened. And in time I understood and whatever, but it took a long time to fucking put the pieces together. But yeah, this was a weird night where we were out drinking, we were out chilling, like it was just a casual night, and then literally a fucking like row of like 8 police cruisers pulls up. Very odd, man. And then we see him chase, I think. Oh yeah, another night where we see a bunch of them.
You said that some of the protesters were fighting like students, like who?
Oh, sorry. The protesters were the students. The protest, like almost all the students. Sorry, almost all of the protesters were students.
Oh, they were students. And I was confused. I'm like, it's like 2 fucking like basketball teams, like the fucking fans like brawling, like that's what I thought. I was like,
no,
huh?
my bad. They the big thing was our school. So all there's like 4 universities that are within Hong Kong that were coordinating this like kind of strike-esque situation where basically they took over the schools. Okay, so four different universities, and so each university had like different levels of heat. Okay, each university had like different levels of GTA stars. You know what I mean? Like each university had like a different amount of attention from police. And so there's one university one night that was just like really getting like they had 5 stars, like they were
5 stars. Bro.
Yeah,
they got the choppers on them too.
yeah, exactly. And so our university had like 2 stars, and so the students basically ran to this mall and started trashing the mall, like doing like damage, so that they could bring like maybe 1 more star to us and like potentially take it away from the other university. It was very, very fucking weird, bro. That's why I was saying urban warfare, because it was just like, it was weirdly tactical. Like, I don't know how to put it. But yeah, you could see this was like there's a few moments when I guess you could say like I inhaled like fucking pepper spray, or not pepper spray. Yeah, I guess not pepper spray. It's fuck. Oh yeah, tear gas. Sorry, tear gas was like
fucking tear gas.
Yeah,
bro.
tear gas was everywhere pretty much, but it was obviously like the worst when the cops showed up. Like when the cops showed up, it was almost as if, I don't know what a video game equivalent would be, but it was like your hunger was all the way down in Minecraft, in the sense of like you knew the cops were around because like you just were starting to cry, or like yeah. Fuck.
I get it. It's like when the fucking cops are, if we're putting it in Minecraft terms, it's like when the fucking cops are around, it's like when you're fucking in the deep dark and the warden shows up, you just get blindness.
Yes.
From
yes.
proximity.
Thank you. That's actually perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I knew there was a better one. That's better. Yeah. Fuck, man. Yeah, Jesus Christ. So, yeah, this is them chasing a fucking student. Fucking.
This is some fucking crazy ass like footage that you've just been sitting on.
Yeah, I'm a fucking idiot, man. Like,
I mean, I think this is, you could totally do, like, this could totally still work, because you could say, like, what happened to the Hong Kong protests.
No, I know
that was like such a big thing everyone was talking about a few years ago. Like,
no, I know it can work. I know it can work, man. And it will be like, it will be better, I guess, in a sense, if I guess like I'm more popular on YouTube when it gets dropped. But yeah, it will work. It's just like, obviously this wasn't the plan to like take this fucking long. Like, it was never the plan, but
well, I know you said you were trying to get them out like 1 a week, which
fell apart, pretty badly. But
I feel that I try to get videos out like every Tuesday, and I fucking can't, because it's another thing where it's like my standards are so high. Do you ever have that problem where you're working on something and you just feel like fucking getting rid of it because it doesn't feel good enough?
Well, this is the problem that I encountered. This is one that, like, I'm gonna make it work. Like, it'll be fine. But the problem, the problem though, the big problem that I encountered was, bro, I was the furthest thing from a professional when I recorded this. So I'm using phone footage and my kind of shitty camera that I barely know how to use. And so the footage is kind of, it's not ideal quality. Let's just put it like that. But like, it's like usable. It's just scuffed, you know what I mean? Which is like on brand, but it does make it a little bit more difficult. Plus, obviously, I wasn't like, Shane Dawson has a camera guy who carries the camera. I like needed to be aware of my surroundings while pointing the camera. Like, it felt like I was playing Outlast. I don't know if you fucking know Outlast.
Yeah, I understand. I didn't play it, but my friend like did a full playthrough and I watched it, so I understand.
Yeah, it was basically I was just a noob at recording shit like this, and I just like, the footage is like technically subpar, but like I'll make it work without a doubt. But yeah, that was just like another concern I had, where it's like I don't have like certain moments, I don't have a ton of footage, and the footage I did get was like mid. But thankfully this is one of the most well documented, protests of all time, pretty much. So there is like other angles and stuff like that. But yeah, that was 2 fuck ups, or 2 things that fucked me up, was not being able to use my friends or like people that I fucking recorded, I guess.
They held out. They're like, nah, man, I don't want to get fucking sent anthrax in my mailbox by the CCP.
Yeah, well, it's more like a lot of them are like professionals now, and like even back then they were like keeners, like they were just like they were like business students or something, and so it makes sense. Like why would a business student want to risk their business connections by being in some fucking idiot YouTuber series?
That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you already know I'm gonna try and finesse it though, but like I'm still gonna bust their balls when it comes time to release. Like, and if they don't let me, I'll censor people's faces. Like, I'll make it work. It's just how scuffed is it gonna be? That's the big question. But yeah,
It's fucking. I think the amateur filming kind of adds to it. I don't know if
yeah,
anyone else feels that way, but I think amateur stuff feels more. It's more raw and it's more genuine, and I think
yeah,
that's like that's a unique angle. Like you were fucking out there, like in the trenches, bro. Like you were fucking inhaling tear gas into your fucking that big old schnoz. I got a big one too, so I bet that shit hurt.
yeah,
Like that's some real shit that like I don't think any other YouTube creator fucking went and like did anything like that I know of.
yeah.
Where they're there and you were there like it's not like you flew out there. I thought you flew out there. I was like this guy's like going all out for this, but you went on a business thing or like a school thing, sorry. You went
Yeah.
on because you were a student. I didn't even know that was like a thing you could do. So
So
that's fucking crazy.
this is where I've maintained mystery for a while. And again, you're gonna get FBI wiped, so it's fine. But
Yeah, Men in Black, we're gonna fucking get beamed.
but
What happened?
yeah, no, but it's like like almost everybody assumed that I fully was just chasing the fucking high, like chasing the dragon, like I sought out all this shit, like I flew there because of the protest. Everyone was thinking I was a maniac. And it's cool that people think that, you know, it's like cool that people imagine that I'm like a gonzo journalist or whatever. But it was literally like just the weirdest, most surreal timing possible. Like I literally, you know, it was like a foreign exchange thing. My fucking friend convinced me to do. Um, and yeah, I was there as a plebeian. I was literally there as a plebeian, and that's why I do think it'll be very interesting, whatever comes of it, because it is literally going to be from the POV of a random young foreigner that was a student during this time. And weirdly, as a student, I got insight, I got footage, I got like a perspective that none of the media outlets got, because all the media outlets were talking to other fucking reporters. They were talking to like officials. They were talking to like they were basically, you know, being professional. Whereas I was literally just talking to fucking students, and then this shit goes down, and it's like I was living in the middle of it. You know what I mean? It was a very, very odd experience.
That's some fucking that's crazy shit. Like that's like you said, yeah, that's no fucking media outlet like was doing it like that. Like that's it like
Bro, there's a weird.
that's-
You're right. There's a weird meta too, where there was a lot of people who went there to record, but it was only like for profit. So it was I didn't know this was a thing, but it makes sense that it's a thing.
they
but
were selling their footage to the media.
Exactly. So a
Yeah.
lot of the people who wear the press, you know, uniforms and get like the craziest camera angles, like that footage doesn't even get released. Like it barely gets even used. Like it gets used maybe in like news cycles or whatever, but that's basically like adventure bros going out recording shit and selling it to the fucking like CNN, you know what I mean? So yeah, this is like a very weird perspective in the sense it's scuffed as fuck. It's literally from a random YouTuber student kid, and I was there basically, like I was friends with some of the people who were protesting all this shit. Very weird.
It's actually like it's goaded. I don't know if your mic cut out or if you just stopped talking. I think you're good. Though. No,
Yeah.
you're good. No, that's like it's just so it's such a unique thing, and it was so out of like as a viewer, it was so out of left field.
Bro, that's
Like,
crazy.
The last thing I expected this fucking guy to do after destroying H3H3's entire fucking YouTube reputation, they started losing subs. Like I was like invested. Like I remember watching this shit, and then this guy's like, I'm like, I wonder what he's gonna do next. And then he drops this video where he's like, "Yo, I'm finna go to Hong Kong and I'm gonna record stuff and potentially get fucking killed by the fucking Chinese Communist Party." Like, huh? Excuse me? What? And then it was like good too. It was like it was crazy. Like, yeah, it's like you can say it's scuffed, but I personally don't think it's scuffed. I think that's like that is like that, like what you did, that's more journalism. That's more journalistic. That's whatever you want to say. That's peak journalism. That's better journalism than any fucking major media outlet does. They just fucking read a teleprompter and like say like basically like a summary of what happened. Then they're like usually biased or some shit. You actually mentioned that in your original video. You're like,
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, they're biased. You know, like the mainstream media, they said violent protests, all this shit, and you're just walking in the airport and it's like just
Yeah.
chill. It's like a fucking another Tuesday. There's like nothing going on. They're like the violent anti-government protesters, and the way they'd word it too, because it's like they're not anti-government in a sense. They're anti like government encroachment. Like they don't
Yeah.
want their fucking rights taken away by the CCP, like the most evil government currently like going on. It's like the only thing you could compare the CCP to is like fucking fascist Italy or Nazi Germany or like the Soviet Union. It's like genuinely like it's like this authoritarian state that commits genocide. And this isn't like 100 years ago or like 90 years ago, like back then when this was like a common thing. This is today, right now, today. And this is some shit. And like this little segment of this country is like, yo, we should fucking like say that these people suck. And then they fucking get shut down. And then you just are like, hey, I'm going to go there as an exchange student and I'm going to record the stuff. But instead of selling it to like the media, like all these other schmucks, I'm going to make a YouTube video. And that's the craziest shit.
Yeah.
It's just some crazy ass shit, bro.
Yeah. You're touching on some real shit there where it's like, that was a fucked up moment for me, was realizing I actually am more like I do have more of an affinity to truth than like most journalists, like especially mainstream journalists, you know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
in my mind, yeah, being like a journalist is like having a loyalty to like figuring out the truth or getting to the bottom of shit, more or less. And so yeah, no, that was a fucked up moment where it's like, because the whole time I thought that I was the biggest just fucking idiot. Like I was just like, what am I doing here, pretty much? But I just felt like a drive to record it because I was like, this is the only skill I have, pretty much. I might as well fucking try to use it. But yeah, man, I was surprised. I don't know, man. It's a weird fucking thing, but yeah, that was a fucked up period. I would
respect.
I would love to have been a viewer back then, man, because that must have been such a mind fuck. Holy
It
shit.
fucking was, bro. I was just like, I don't even remember how old I was. I remember watching the H3 video. I was like, this is some fucking crazy shit. Then I just like, sometimes if I find a content creator I like, I'm one of the rare people that will like genuinely go and binge all of their other stuff to see if it's goated. And it like I enjoyed like most of your content. Like most of it was just skits with you and your brothers in your house. I'm like, this is just chill. And then I'm waiting. I'm like, this guy, there's some crazy shit. He did this H3 vid. Bro broke out from that. Then you did the fucking no stupid questions. Our Trap's a gay video, and that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, you did this serious thing, then it's kind of back to normal. Then boom, I'm in Hong Kong. There's a protest going on. I'm recording it. This is going to be a series, but then it like didn't happen. But it was, when I saw that shit, I was like, holy, I was so hyped. I was like, this is fucking like the craziest shit I've ever seen. This is content creation to the next level. This is like, the autism energy is so strong in a good way. It's fucking, it was just peak. It was just peak. Like that's some legendary ass shit that you did.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, to an extent, I'm glad, you know, with the way my life has gone and whatever, because I am at the peak of my editing ability right now. Like I'm peaking right now. Like, back then,
he's on a whole nother level.
Yeah, no, back then I was still leveling up and whatever. So if I made the series, and I should have made the series, let's just be clear, like I'm not coping on this, but if I did make the series, it would have been much more scuffed than it would be now, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because like your skills have improved so much.
Yeah.
Like when you drop this shit now, it's gonna be probably crazier than the video you just put out, which was insane.
Yeah,
in
well,
itself.
I definitely hope so. Yeah, like, bro, this is the Gokanaru fucking funnel, man. It's like, again, as a viewer, it's like 2 years of nothing, and then a straight adrenaline to the fucking vein. And so the big goal that I have is to remove that 2 years of nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be present. I want to be around. This, bro, in my mind, when I escaped that gulag, I'm a YouTuber now. Like, this is just what I'm doing. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm gonna pop off whatever. Yeah, fuck. I have a bunch of videos ready. Thank God. Like, a lot of, filler, but like fun videos, I guess. Also some commentary videos. Yeah, there's a lot to look forward to, bro. I'm glad like you really are like a viewer, bro. I appreciate that you've been following fuck, because I do feel bad, man, because it's like that is pretty fat blue balls. That is pretty fat blue balls to like fuck over people who are excited about that series, because I actually got people to be excited about learning, basically. Like, right? Like imagine getting a kid excited, or like at the time you said you're a kid, like excited about like a fucking protest. You know what I mean? Like, that's just like boring or cringe to most kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was like 17 or something. I don't entirely remember.
Yeah, then
it
you're
was a
fine.
while ago. But
Yeah,
it
you
was
weren't a kid.
like I definitely was a kid. I'd say I've like not being a kid now. I'm just now not being. It took me a while, but I digress.
Yeah.
I remember coming back to your channel that next week, and the video just like wasn't there. I'm like, God, man, it's not. I just knew like you, because I was also doing videos, so I kind of understood it more than just the average dude. But
Yeah.
I was like, something probably happened, and then that's when like I'm glad you answered these questions, because these are genuine questions I've had for a while.
I can tell. That's why I'm actually answering them, because I've usually, when people ask this shit, I just brush it off.
No, it's like I genuinely thought like your footage, or like I thought when you made that video, when you edited the Hong Kong video and put it out, I thought you were still there. I thought this was being put up live from there. So I thought you got your shit confiscated.
I see, yeah.
And that's why this shit didn't come out. I remember this was genuinely, you did like you made a tweet one time and I replied to it. I was the most like reply. You probably can't find it now. I've wiped my Twitter like probably twice since then.
Yeah.
But I replied like blink twice if the CCP is holding you hostage or some shit, and like
I remember this.
That was some funny shit. Do you actually remember that?
Yeah. I mean, there was definitely more than just you saying that, but I do remember being added with questions like that.
I genuinely thought like your footage got fucking all the tapes got fucking wiped, fucking stolen, confiscated by the fucking state police or some shit, and that's why the series didn't continue. So that's good closure though. Now I know it's still coming out, but it's just you're taking your time, which honestly is good. I think taking time on something like that is going to be more worth in the long run in terms of quality. And I think now after your most recent vid, like with the growth, this is definitely like some prime time, like the next few months where you like hopefully can get it out. I don't know when you're planning on getting it out, but hopefully soon, because I'm hyped still.
Yeah.
I was hyped back then. I'm still waiting. I'm like, dude, this is like, it's just the most unique shit ever. Not to like.
No, bro, trust me, I know what you're saying, and like I've felt that for a while. Yeah, it just feels not real. Like, I don't know, it just feels like, what the fuck. But
it is actually just, it's hard to describe. It's just it's just crazy. This fucking guy that does he makes the best expose video I've ever seen at that time. The H3 video, that was like the best one. I liked it more than all the content cops. It just felt more raw. That's kind of what I liked about it.
Yeah.
You're doing like the no stupid questions, and that was like chill. I'm like, this is chill. This is just some chill content right here. Like, I was like, he might do another video Vigilante, and this is kind of like his whole thing. Then you fucking post that you went. Like, that's
Very
just,
talented,
it's actually,
lots
like, I
of
can see why
potential.
people thought you were
Your
insane.
editing style is so
Low
enjoyable,
key,
and you're
that
a
is
real
fucking
artist.
insane
Love to
because
follow the white rabbit
I don't
thing
even, like,
you
did
do.
people die in the Hong Kong protests?
Yeah.
Did the state police fucking kill people?
Well, there's a few deaths. Yeah. The thing is that they're not like, they're not what's the word? They weren't like tested exactly. Like they weren't. Nobody was tried or whatever. But there was a few deaths that like the police obviously claim were accidental, and then protesters obviously claim were intentional. But yeah, that was the big. Okay, so that was a big shadow that was lingering over me throughout that whole period, bro. Because people were spooked, man. And they had a good reason to be, bro. Because obviously the students took over the university. I was staying at the university. We have emails coming in from the fucking president of the university saying, you know, this is illegal. You gotta leave. Like the fucking, you know, all this like fear mongering, and then you have the students start to think, oh man, you're bringing me back real hard. The students started to think, and there was rumors spreading, and this was probably spread by, you know, the fucking government or the acting government, that the Chinese military would clear out the schools. And there was multiple problems, but there's multiple weird things that happened. Holy fuck, I can't believe it. I'm just remembering all this shit now. But like, so there was the threat of the Chinese military, okay? And for context, my university was right beside the military base of the mainland China.
Are you for real, bro?
Yeah. Like it was within walking distance. So that was like a looming weird fucking just I don't know what happens if that occurs, because that's basically, if that happens, that is basically what happened at Tiananmen Square, right? In my head at that time, that's what everyone's saying, right? Everyone's like talking about fucking Tiananmen Square. And I at that time, like I had read books about Tiananmen Square when I was in high school and all this shit. But really all I understood was like people died. You know what I mean? Like that was the big takeaway I got. And so I was spooked by that. And then there's there was a bunch of fear-mongering shit going on, bro. There was okay, man, this was a big thing too. Holy fuck, I don't even know if I could talk about this one, but like the Cliff Notes is like one of the universities of the 4, they discovered people creating bombs, okay? Allegedly. And so that was, whether that was true or not, that was used by, you know, the police as like a legitimizer, a fear tactic to say like, we're gonna get the military involved, whatever.
Yeah.
On top of that, as time went on, there was police helicopters looming over all of the universities, right? So like all of our fucking movements, all this shit was like obviously being fucking recorded, tracked, whatever. And the thing that spooked me for sure was the students started to get, as in the protesters, the students or the protesters started to get paranoid as fuck, in the sense that they were thinking that people were like, you know, double agents, that people were like fucking, you know, that they were basically like,
there's an imposter among us.
Yeah, literally, bro. Yeah. And it's like, and you have to keep in mind, like, I was an outsider, you know? So that's, in a way, being an outsider is good because obviously I'm not working for the fucking police, you know, more or less. But being an outsider is obviously bad because they don't trust me. You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty much like, they just don't know what I'm going to do with the footage. Like, if I was recording them, they were weirded out, you know what I mean? Which makes sense, like complete sense, bro. Because for all they fucking knew, I would just sell the footage to fucking CNN. Or worse, like, to the fucking Chinese media outlets. There's a lot to be spooked about, because that's the big thing. In hindsight, I look back and I wasn't in immense danger, okay? But let's be clear, I was in danger. Like, a soccer mom would look at what happened and would be terrified completely. And, like, the girl that I was talking about who actually stuck behind and we ended up fucking recording shit together, she got a I believe it was she got a rubber bullet on her on her fucking shin.
She got hit by a rubber bullet.
Yeah, and I have this on camera. This is like pretty much the fucking climax of the fucking video probably of the series.
Don't leak it yet. You gotta save that juice.
No. Yeah, of course. Like, don't worry.
But that's fucking insane that you were there. You were that close to the hole.
Yeah, and that shit did damage too. Like it fractured her shin bone or whatever.
Bro, what the fuck?
Yeah. There's people who like lost eyes because of rubber bullets. Like that was honestly like bro, for real. The tear gas was mid compared to the rubber bullets. And another big fucking holy shit, it's bringing back a lot of memories. Another big thing that people were scared about was holy shit. I can't believe, bro. This is gonna be a good series. I'm just remembering now. There was at the pinnacle, the peak of the chaos or whatever you would say, was Polytechnical University. That was like the final standoff. This is the moment that is a historical event, basically, where it's like this is the moment that the protests peaked or whatever. There was tanks going around the vicinity of the entire fucking university, and they were spraying protesters with blue paint. And so people were freaked the fuck out because if you get sprayed with blue paint, like that shit stains hard and you'll get like identified and they'll know that you were at a protest and all this shit. So
oh shit.
It was like you were playing fucking Splatoon or something. No, I'm just kidding. But
dude, the fucking CCP was playing Splatoon with the protesters.
Yeah. There was and then to counter the tanks, bro, fuck me. To counter the tanks, protesters would carry red dot lasers, right? And so they would just flash the fucking laser right in the eye of like the fucking tanks.
Driver.
Yeah, very that's why I was saying it's like urban warfare, because it's basically that's what it was. Like it was literally civilians doing like these weird tactics to thwart like literal like fucking, trained policemen or whatever. But yeah, in hindsight, I wasn't in immense danger because there wasn't a massacre. That's the big thing.
Well,
but
that's fucking good.
Yeah. At the time, there was like this scary air where it's like people could die, like it could be bad. But yeah, thankfully I'm alive, and whatever. But yeah, I do need to finish that series now. It's making me horny just talking about this shit. I'm gonna get on it. But yeah,
that's how you know. I've gotten the same feeling where I know content is good.
Yeah. And
I need to put it out. Like that's how I was with my biggest video and some of the other ones. I'm sitting there like, this is so good, I got to do it.
So this is the thing, is like you do develop instincts. Like you've been making videos for at least 5 years, probably, like breaching
7. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, like 7 years, bro. After 3, maybe 4 years, you start to develop like real instincts. I know what you mean, and like I know that the footage that I have is content and all this shit, but the bigger thing is obviously trying to like portray what the fuck was actually happening, because this is the problem, is like an event happens and then people decide what happened, you know what I mean? So like even January 6th or whatever the fuck, like people like CNN and a lot of people are still debating what the fuck happened there, even though it was like heavily documented, whatever, and it wasn't in reality probably that's crazy or serious of an event. Probably, I don't exactly know, whatever.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories and all that.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what I'm saying. Like an event happens and then people decide what happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what really fucked with me, because coming, like not ever really being in a protest before this, you've just read everything in a history book and you just think like this is just what happened, you know what I mean? But there's so much fucking subjectivity into just saying what happened. It's fucked up. Yeah, but anyway,
yeah, I know, like, you're right. like in 20, 30 years, there's probably like people probably learn about those Hong Kong protests, but they're just gonna learn about it like in like a book, in like
Yeah.
a surface value. They're not gonna know the layers of everything going on. Like what you just described, like they fucking spraying people with blue paint and they think that's a way that the police are gonna track people down because that shit stains. Like I don't
Yeah.
think they'd fit that in a fucking history book. That's why documenting things like that, in my opinion, is very important. So you actually like genuinely just did like a service for historians, just regular ass people that wanted to know what the fuck happened. Like it's some crazy shit, bro.
Yeah, well, the big asterisk there is like the series needs to get finished, and then I did it. You know what I mean? And then it's done. But yeah,
I'm hyped. I hope it comes out within the next year.
yeah, that's
what I'm saying?
definitely possible. Yeah, well, I have good momentum right now, but we'll see.